Hey guys, it's Ken, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the mindset changes that I had to do as a young man growing up. As you guys know, we all have the same dreams. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, and what is it that changes people's mindsets from having better relationships, better health, and better wealth. So as a young kid, I was happy. But my parents, they had come out of that Great Depression era because of their parents had too. And so when my mom would say, we can't afford this, she was right. We couldn't. There were lots of things that we didn't have, but as a family, we were happy. But I still had to punch through the different barriers that were in my mind based on the biases, the beliefs, and the thoughts that I had gotten from my own family. Before I get started, I do want to say one thing. Money itself will not solve your problems. It will not give you a better attitude. It will not change your mindset. It will not do anything for any relationship other than actually make more stress on it. Hey guys, there's going to be a lot of information in this video. So to make it easier on you, we've summarized them into show notes. Just click the link below in the description to grab them. Also, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. If you want to help support the channel, check out my premium membership on my website where you can learn all about my real estate investing strategies. You can get $50 off an annual subscription with a promo code PREMIUM50. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's jump right in. So let me just start off by saying that I think that most people are either in a growth mindset or in a fixed mindset. Now, obviously, you guys know the difference, but from my experience, what I found is a lot of people that are sitting here in a fixed mindset actually see themselves over here in a growth mindset and the other way around. And so I think the best thing that you could ever do is to ask people what they think of you, because the very best thing that you could ever get is somebody's objective opinion on where they believe that you're at. And please try not to get so defensive. So now let's just take a look at the words you use and the thoughts you have based on these two things. So in a growth mindset, failure is an opportunity to grow. And we talk a lot about this. We talk a lot about fast failing, fail as fast as you can. Or failure is part of experience. Failure is a part of growth. But over here, failure is the limit of my abilities. And what I found is a lot of time on the fixed mindset, people don't even take that next step. For whatever reason, they're afraid to make a mistake or they're overanalyzing everything so they don't even make a move. On the growth mindset, people say, I can learn to do anything I want. On the fixed mindset, they say, I'm either good at it or I'm not. In other words, they take a position. And a lot of times it's kind of a defeatist attitude. And I'm telling you over here, I am horrible at lots of stuff, but I plow through it. Some stuff comes to me very, very easily. Other stuff, not so much. Like I'm still struggling how to learn just to play the guitar, but I'm still pounding away at it. And trust me, in my head is this little voice says, I'm either good at it or I'm not. I'm always fighting over here, but I'm still plowing through and I'm not going to give up. On a growth mindset, people say challenges help me to grow. On a fixed mindset, I don't like to be challenged. And you know these people. These are the ones when you say, I don't know if I agree with that, and they immediately get defensive. Over here, what they do is ask a lot of questions. Over here, they make a lot of statements. It's a big, big difference. And the words you use can generally tell you where you sit when you're in a normal conversation. On a growth mindset, they say, my effort and my attitude determine my abilities. A lot of people do not believe that their attitude is important. I'm telling you, your attitude is your altitude. Literally, when you step away from negative consequences, you have no idea how clear things can be. Over here, you're going to find people say, that's the way the cookie crumbles, or that's the way it is, or potentially even that's God's plan. And I'm not saying that it might not be God's plan, but a lot of times they're dismissive as if somebody else is in charge of all of this, and that's kind of the point. So the feedback over here on the growth side is constructive. Over here, not so much. On the growth mindset, I'm inspired by the success of others. Over here, oftentimes the feedback, they look at it as criticism and they personalize it. So it's a very different kind of mindset. Over here, for example, I'm like a sponge. I want to know, like, did I do this well? What can I do better? We're always stopping in our own company and saying, okay, let's celebrate the wins and let's see what we can do better. Over here, they don't particularly want to look at that. There's no way you can be infinite over here with your health and your wealth and, of course, your relationships if you have a fixed mindset. One of the things I always ask people is, how's your relationship with your family? How's your relationship with your mom and dad? How's your relationship with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your spouse, whoever it is? How's your relationship with your kids? And I will tell you, it largely depends on you. Okay, so now we're going to focus on the growth and the fixed mindset and how different it is from an investor standpoint. And this is my own experience of listening to people, watching people, mentoring people, coaching people, interns that have come through my office, and also, of course, sellers and buyers of all kinds of real estate deals. On the growth mindset, these are typically investors. Over here, they're typically savers. They don't want to look. They save money. They're more of a scarcity. Over here, it's more of an abundance. Over here, people with a growth mindset, they're working hours for momentum. They're working for some kind of a future. Over here, they're doing hours for dollars. It's a very different mindset. Over here, they're looking at the big picture. Over here, as Robert Kiyosaki would say, money is just a claim on your time. One of the things that I found in a growth mindset is people are always saying, how can I help? What can I do? They're always open. They're not afraid. Over here, what's in it for me? That's a big one. So a lot of times when they do something, they always want to know, if I do this, what do I get in return? Over here, I found in a growth mindset, that's not necessarily so much. Over here, it's all internal. In other words, when something happens like a relationship issue, let's say I have an argument with my son, I take a look at my own personal responsibility. Over here, they look outward. So here it's inward and here it's outward. It's a very, very different way to look at it. And I know this is a tough one for a lot of people because they like to point fingers a lot. Once I decided to go internal and look at my own responsibility, things really opened up. Another point on the growth mindset is it's up to me. So in other words, I believe that I am responsible for everything in my life. My relationships, my health, my wealth, everything that I do, even my time. And I think that is the case for most people in a growth mindset. Over here, nobody helps me. They take the victim mentality over here. This is a big one, guys. Over here, nobody helps me. They don't appreciate what I do. I can't go on vacation because my employer won't give me the time off, or I haven't saved enough money because I'm not making enough money. So whatever it is, it's all on this side. It's more of a fixed mindset. Over here, what I found is people with a growth mindset, they do quit, which I actually found this to be interesting, but they quit strategically. In other words, when I've had to quit stuff, sometimes you got to say, all right, time to not do that anymore. It's clearly not going to pay off because I'm a guy that likes to do lots of stuff and try lots of stuff. And so a lot of times I have to quit strategically. Could be a partnership, could be something that I thought was going to work that didn't work, whatever it is. Over here, they quit early. They give up. They're like, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm not that good at it. People are going to see what I'm doing and they're not going to like it. Whatever it is, all this little voice that goes on inside of your own head. So I found that they quit early. Over here, it's very much a team concept. So, and over here, it's very much an individual. So you're going to find like a lot of realtors are going to be in this individual category. There's no one that can do it better than me. Everything has to go through me. They can't delegate. Over here, on a growth mindset, if you want to really become wealthy, you have to leverage other people's time or human capital. And so at MC Companies, as an example, which is a company that we use to buy real estate, we have 250 employees over here. And of course, it's a whole orchestra of people trying to make that move forward. But it takes a team to be able to do $1 billion worth of real estate like we're doing. Over here, there's no way I could have done that, because at some point your cup is full. And what happens is a lot of time people just won't go beyond that. They'll stay at that size. And the last big thing for the growth mindset is that this category, these people on the growth mindset, all they do is pepper with questions. And over here, it's I know. They're statements. They basically are the know-it-alls. They basically have big egos. Over here, you're going to find people who are most of the time pretty humble. And if they have big egos over here, they're still going to stay small. Over here, you're going to find the bigger egos, the fact that they need to know everything, they need to be in control of everything. They're going to stay small, and they're just going to make statements. And over here, they're just going to pepper you with questions, because what they want is to know what you know. So let's tie this into a little rich dad here. And as you guys probably have seen before, you've probably seen this cash flow quadrant. And the cash flow quadrant is ESBI. And so for those that don't know, this is obviously from Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert and Kim Kiyosaki, and Rich Dad. And you're going to see very different people in these quadrants. So E stands for employee, S stands for self-employed, B stands for big business, and I is for investment. And what we want you guys to do over time is a lot of people start as employees just like me, but we want you to start here, start your own business, move it to a big business, and then invest it so that you've got your cash flow. And what you're going to find is that the majority of the people on this side of the quadrant are going to pay higher taxes. You're going to pay 40, 50% in taxes. On the business and on the investment, you can pay very low. So what we're trying to do is get you to move to this side of the quadrant, and a lot of reasons why you're on this side of the quadrant, or a lot of people are on this side of the quadrant, is because of the way that they think. So as I was talking before, a lot of times when you got to do it yourself, S stands for self-employed, S stands for Superman, S stands for I need to do it myself. Employees obviously work for someone else. So generally an S could be like a doctor, or it could be somebody that makes a lot of money, but they're paying a lot of tax, and they're really not looking at this side of the quadrant. Maybe they're not an employee, and maybe they make a lot of money. They're paying a lot of money in tax, and they're really, really smart people. So S stands for smart, but they don't want to ask anybody for help. I know hundreds of people in this category right here. What we're trying to do, guys, is find out about as much as we can over here and bring it over here in the B and the I side. That's where all the fun is. That's where you're hiring other people to help you accomplish your goals. This is where you actually get to use some of the tax laws that are out there to save money on your taxes. This is where you get to use debt and equity and all the fun things that are available as you continue to grow your company, start new companies, scale the existing companies. It's a lot more fun over here. And my experience has been that in order for people to get over to the B and the I side, they really, really need to work hard on developing their mindset from a fixed to a growth mindset. I know for sure myself, I started as an E. I started as a property manager making $600 a month and a one-bedroom apartment, and I was right here. And the next thing that I wanted to do was start my own management company, which I did. And then I believed that I had to run everything through me, and I stayed really small. And then I started to partner. I started to hire more better people, and I started to grow to here. And then I started to get the money, and I started to move down over here. And when I started making money, that's when I started to learn all the things that I could on this side of the quadrant as I started to go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So those of you non-believers that believe you could just hand money over to somebody, like in the form of a stimulus payment or an unemployment check, I'm telling you, while some people definitely need that, this is proof. 70% of the lottery winners end up bankrupt. I have a lot of friends that are athletes. They end up bankrupt. Because when you just sprinkle money on the mindset that you already have, which is a poor mindset, then eventually you'll lose it. So this is a mindset issue. This is a growth mindset issue. And a lot of times people have a fixed mindset issue around scarcity as opposed to abundance. So let's just talk about the mindset of people that got a bunch of money in here and what they did. And these are things that you should avoid. Number one, they stopped working. Number two, they gave away too much money. Number three, they didn't consider taxes. And number four, they spent money like crazy because they didn't have any coming in. They ran out eventually. And that's part of the mindset. That's part of the rich mindset. There's nothing wrong with doing these things, but you have to have cash flow coming in to support it. Learn from these mistakes, guys. I think one of the things that I talk about is be, do, have. And I think what happens is a lot of people focus on have. That's where they go. And that's what these lottery winners, that's what a lot of people do. I understand it. When you get a bunch of money, you say, I want to have these things. But what you really need to do is you've got to figure out who you want to be. And the only way that you can figure out who you want to be is you got to analyze, what do I need to do? What do I need to do differently? What do I need to do to have a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset? So it's not about what we have, which is what happens a lot of times when people get money. It's about what we need to do, and then we turn into who we want to be. And then at that point, you can be a coach, you can be a mentor, and you can help other people like we're doing now today in this video. So the big question is, what do I do now? So I understand that question. And so of course, we got to pull up Gandhi. And so what Gandhi, I love what he says here is you have to change your thoughts. And guys, I know this is harder than it sounds. I know this. What he's saying, and I fully believe this, your beliefs become your thoughts. And your beliefs, guys, are things that you grew up with. They're things that people said to you. They're things that you read. There's things that a teacher told you. All of those things are define who you are. And until you change some of your beliefs, you will not change your thoughts. Your thoughts become the words that you use. It's super easy to determine. I can tell when people say something, I can or I can't, I will or I won't. All of those things are pretty easy things to figure out. Your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values, of course, become your destiny. That's what we want here. We want you guys to change your thoughts so that you can change your destiny. And the only way to do that is to dig in deep, take a look at whether you have a fixed mindset, take a look at whether you have a poor mindset, and take on that criticism. If somebody gives you that, that's a gift that you need to take a look at instead of discount it and pretend like it doesn't exist. One last thing, I'm just going to give you 5 points of things that I wrote down for you that I thought you might want to consider. These are things from a rich mindset. OPM, using debt and equity, other people's money. Very, very, very important. A lot of people save a lot of money. Nothing wrong with that. But the system revolves around using other people's money. Number 2, create value for others. As long as you take that position, no matter what it is, if you're going to find a deal and bring it to somebody else and you're trying to get money, you need to show them how you're creating value. If you're looking for a job, you need to show that employer you're looking how to create value. If you're going to start a new business and you're trying to raise money for it, you need to show the investor how you're going to create value. Very, very important lesson. You need to understand the tax and inflation implications on the bigger picture. In other words, there's a lot of people that get paid a lot of money that pay a lot in tax, and there's other people that make a lot of money and pay very little in tax, and it's up to you to understand the difference because tax will be your number one expense in your lifetime. Inflation, of course, is a big issue. As you save more money, it can erode your hard-earned savings. Cash flow versus capital gains. We've talked a little bit about that. There's a massive difference. The wealthy focus here, the short-term people focus here. Nothing wrong with capital gains, but that's like Bitcoin. Buy low, sell high. Buy a stock low, sell high. Flippers, all that stuff, they kind of hang out over here. The wealthy, the really, really uber wealthy, they have lots of cash flow coming in from multiple sources. And then I put study because that's something that I stopped doing after college. This is really learning as opposed to studying. It can be both, but this could be from YouTube. This could be from books. This could be from mentors. This could be from coaches. This could be from whatever. But just always be honing your craft and trying to make yourself the best that you can. So thanks for listening.